It didn't start with a confession. There was no dramatic argument, no obvious betrayal. It started with something so small that I almost ignored it. A look, a pause, a moment that didn't feel right. And the strange thing is, nothing actually happened. But from that moment on, I started questioning everything. You know how in a relationship there's a rhythm, the way you talk, the way you sit together, even silence feels familiar. That's what we had. Years of routines, shared habits, a sense of certainty that didn't need to be spoken out loud. I trusted it. I trusted us until that moment. It was an ordinary day. Nothing special, nothing memorable. But then a notification popped up on his phone, and the way he reacted was different. Not obvious, not dramatic, just slightly off. He tilted the screen away just a little too quickly, and if you blinked, you'd miss it. But I didn't. At first, I told myself I was overthinking. Don't be that person. Don't create problems where there aren't any, because that's what we're taught, right? To trust, to not jump to conclusions, to not let insecurity ruin something good. So I tried to let it go, but something had already shifted. Here's what I didn't understand at the time. The human brain is wired to detect patterns, especially when something feels off. Even if you don't have proof, your mind starts scanning for meaning. Psychologists sometimes call this threat detection. It's subtle, almost invisible, but once it activates, you don't see things the same way again.
After that, I started noticing more. Not big things, small things. The way he smiled at his phone, the slight delay before answering simple questions, the sudden need for privacy where there was none before. Individually, they meant nothing, but together, they started forming a pattern. And this is where everything changes. Because once your brain starts connecting dots, it doesn't stop. I found myself replaying old memories. That night he came home late, that joke he shared about a coworker, that moment I brushed off as nothing. Now they felt different. Not clearer, just heavier. Like there was something underneath I hadn't seen before. This is something a lot of people don't realize. Your brain doesn't just observe reality, it interprets it. And once doubt enters the picture, your interpretation starts to change. The same behavior can suddenly feel suspicious. The same silence can feel like distance. Nothing external has to change, but internally, everything does. I didn't confront him, not because I didn't want to, but because I wasn't sure what I was confronting. There was no proof, no clear reason, just a feeling. And that's the hardest kind of doubt to deal with, the kind you can't explain. So instead, I became quieter, more observant, more careful. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I used to feel secure. Now I felt alert, like I was constantly watching, analyzing, waiting, even when nothing was happening. And the strange part? On the outside, everything looked the same. We still talked, we still laughed, we still lived our normal life. But inside me, something had changed. There's a concept in psychology called cognitive dissonance. It's what happens when two beliefs clash. I trust my partner, and something doesn't feel right. Your mind can't comfortably hold both, so it tries to resolve the tension. Sometimes by ignoring the feeling, sometimes by questioning everything. I chose the second, without even realizing it. Then it happened again. Another small moment. A late-night message, a hushed tone, a conversation that stopped when I walked in. Still nothing concrete, but now it wasn't just a feeling, it was a pattern. And that's when it hit me. Not like an explosion, but like a quiet realization, the kind that settles slowly but deeply. It wasn't about what he was doing. It was about what I was feeling. Something didn't feel safe anymore. And once that feeling disappears, everything else starts to unravel.
Here's the truth most people don't talk about. Relationships don't always break because of one big event. Sometimes they shift because of small, repeated moments that change how you see each other. And perception is powerful, because once your perception changes, your reality follows. I still don't have all the answers. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I wasn't. But that's not even the point anymore. The point is, something changed in me. The certainty I once had is gone, and I'm left questioning, was it always like this and I just didn't see it? Or did something actually change? Because the hardest part isn't always betrayal. Sometimes it's the possibility of it, the doubt, the uncertainty, the feeling that something isn't right, even when everything looks fine. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. But here's something important to remember. Not every feeling means something is wrong, but ignoring your feelings completely can disconnect you from yourself. The key isn't to panic, but to understand, to communicate, to reflect, and if needed, to seek clarity. Because sometimes the moment you start questioning everything isn't the end of your relationship, it's the beginning of seeing it clearly. Thanks for watching.